The hospital room was quiet. The calendar on the wall marked an ordinary day, to the doctors, to the world, and perhaps even to your own parents. It was simply the day a child was born, just another number on a birth certificate. But in the unseen realm, in the throne room, where time itself is measured out, that specific date had been circled since before the foundations of the earth were laid. Your birth date was never a coincidence. It was not a biological accident, and it was certainly not a random roll of the cosmic dice. It was a deployment. Before your lungs took their first breath of earthly air, a command was given, and a being of staggering power, an entity older than the stars, was assigned to the exact timeline of your life. This is the secret heaven knows about the day you were born, a secret that modern culture has desperately tried to replace with astrology, zodiac signs, and meaningless numerology. We look at the alignment of the stars to tell us who we are, while completely ignoring the sovereign God who made those stars, and the angelic host he explicitly assigned to guard our souls. You have lived your entire life thinking your existence is ordinary. You wake up, you go to work. You feel the crushing weight of everyday struggles. You wonder if your life has any real, transcendent purpose, or if you are just drifting aimlessly through time. There are nights when the silence in your room feels so heavy, so absolute, that you wonder if heaven has completely forgotten your name. You feel like an accident. You feel entirely alone. But heaven does not make accidents. The Apostle Paul writes in Ephesians 1:4 that God chose us in him before the creation of the world. Think about the staggering magnitude of that single word. Before there was gravity, before there was light, there was the thought of you. And beside your name in the ledgers of eternity, there was another. The angel designated to stand between you and the darkness, an angel who has watched you since day one. Who knows the exact reason you were born on that specific day, in that specific year, in that exact generation? Today, we are going to open the scriptures and uncover the profound, terrifying, and beautiful truth about your birth date, and the unseen guardian who has been walking beside you since the very moment your story began. Step back for a moment and look closely at your birth date. Do not look at it as a dry string of numbers printed on a piece of identification. Look at it as a highly precise coordinate of space and time, established and sealed by the Creator himself. Have you ever, in the quietest hours of the night, wondered why you were not born a century earlier or a decade later? Why were you placed into that exact family, forced to navigate those specific trials, and asked to carry the exact burdens you are shouldering right now? The modern world wants to infect our minds with the idea that existence is just a random sequence of events. They offer up horoscopes, star charts, and tell us that our lives are dictated by the movement of lifeless rocks in deep space. But that is a classic lie, a sophisticated deception designed solely to strip away the sacred meaning and the true divine authority over your life. When you are convinced that you are merely a product of cosmic chance, it becomes terrifyingly easy to surrender to despair. You look back at the brokenness of your past, the physical ailments quietly appearing in your body, the betrayals you had to endure in silence, and you whisper to yourself, maybe this is all there is. Maybe my existence doesn't carry any great meaning. Maybe God has truly forgotten me. I know you have had those thoughts. I understand that heavy, sinking feeling. I know there are mornings when you look in the mirror, noticing the lines deepening around your eyes, feeling the relentless pursuit of time, and a quiet but suffocating fear rises in your chest. You fear that your time is running out and you still haven't lived the life you were meant to. You dread the profound sense of isolation, even when sitting in a room full of familiar faces. You retreat into yourself because you believe no one could possibly understand the bleeding wounds you carry inside. Those feelings are incredibly real. Your pain is valid, and you are not wrong for feeling trapped in that deafening silence. But here is the earth-shattering secret. The unseen realm is desperately trying to get you to realize that overwhelming loneliness you are tasting is not the end of your story, nor is it a sign of abandonment. It is the absolute strongest proof that your soul is craving a greater, divine connection than anything this physical world can ever offer. On the exact destined day, you took your first cry. A holy warrior, a guardian angel of blazing power, far beyond human comprehension, was officially deployed. Your life was entrusted to them. Your birth date was not a normal day. It was heaven's military cipher, marking the exact moment your assigned angel began their earthly mission to protect you in a world swarming with unseen darkness. This angel is not a poetic metaphor. They have always been there, standing right beside you, counting every single tear that fell in the dark, waiting for the moment you finally open your spiritual eyes to recognize their presence. Have you ever had a moment where you narrowly escaped a devastating disaster, a split-second decision that inexplicably kept you out of a fatal car accident, a sudden, overwhelming urge to delay leaving your house, only to find out later that the exact route you normally take was compromised? The world calls this blind luck. Society calls it a coincidence. Modern psychology might even try to dismiss it as intuition or a heightened subconscious survival instinct. But heaven has a very different vocabulary for it. Heaven calls it intervention. When God sovereignly circled your birth date and assigned your specific guardian angel, he did not send them down to be a passive observer or a gentle cheerleader. He deployed a warrior. The scriptures are aggressively clear about this. Psalm 91:11 declares, "For he will command his angels concerning you to guard you in all your ways." Pay attention to that word command. That is not a suggestion. That is strict, uncompromising military language. Your assigned angel is operating under direct, divine orders to fiercely preserve your life until your ultimate earthly purpose is fulfilled. They do not sleep. They do not blink. They do not get distracted by the passing of decades. While you are lying in bed at night, agonizing over your past mistakes, worrying about your fading health, or feeling entirely crushed by the weight of your daily anxieties, a violent and entirely invisible war is raging just inches outside the periphery of your physical vision. There are ducks, unseen forces, the true architects of chaos, sickness, and despair that actively seek to derail the sacred purpose God wrote into existence on the day you were born. They desperately want you to feel worthless. They want you to swallow the lie that your life is a tragic mistake and that you are fighting your battles completely alone. But standing directly between you and that suffocating darkness is the magnificent entity assigned to your timeline. Picture it a being of pure, unadulterated holy fire, radiating terrifying power and wielding the absolute authority of the Creator, actively deflecting spiritual attacks that were meant to destroy your mind, your spirit, and your body. Every single time you felt an inexplicable, comforting peace wash over you in a moment of sheer panic. Every time a deeply toxic relationship suddenly and inexplicably ended, breaking your heart in the moment, but ultimately saving your future. That was never luck. That was your holy warrior flawlessly executing their assigned duty. They are fighting for you with a staggering ferocity that your human mind cannot even begin to fathom, and they have been holding that front line, without a single moment of rest or hesitation, since the very first day you opened your eyes. Let us talk about the moments when you feel the most defeated. The nights when you whisper a broken prayer into the dark, and it feels as though your words simply hit the ceiling and fall back down to the cold floor. You ask for physical healing. You ask for mental peace. You ask for just a single, undeniable sign, and that someone up there actually cares about the heavy burdens breaking your back. And when the room remains completely silent, the enemy whispers the cruelest lie of all. God is not listening. Heaven is closed. You are entirely on your own. But what if I told you that your assigned guardian angel is actually closest to you, precisely in those moments of crushing silence? According to the book of Revelation, your prayers are not just empty words dissolving into the night air. They are tangible. They are gathered. Scripture reveals that angels stand before the golden altar in heaven, holding censers, mixing the desperate prayers of the saints with holy fire before hurling them down to the earth. Your specific angel does not ignore your quiet weeping. They collect it. They treat your weakest, most exhausted pleas as sacred, using them to trigger heaven's fierce response on your behalf. This magnificent being knows your entire history. They were watching when you took your very first steps as a child, and they are standing right beside you now as you navigate the terrifying uncertainties of growing older. They know all about your secret, unspoken fears, the deep-seated fear of becoming a burden to your children, the fear of losing your physical independence, the fear that your most meaningful days are permanently behind you. But here is the magnificent truth. While you look in the mirror and see physical decline or a list of missed opportunities, your angel looks at you and sees a masterpiece of divine engineering. They see a crucial mission that is still actively unfolding. They are not frustrated by your human doubts. They are not disappointed by your moments of profound weakness. They are fiercely, violently committed to the mandate the Creator handed them on the exact day you were born. They are actively standing in the gap, physically pushing back the oppressive spirits of depression, illness, and anxiety that try to suffocate you in the middle of the night. Every single time you miraculously found the strength to get out of bed on a morning you were absolutely certain you couldn't. That was not just your own fading willpower. That was the literal breath of heaven, delivered by a holy messenger who absolutely refuses to let you surrender. We have spent so much time marveling at the sheer power of these celestial beings. We are terrified and awed by their flaming swords, their invisible battles, and their relentless ability to stand against the crushing weight of demonic forces. But here is the most staggering secret heaven knows about your life, a truth that completely flips the script on how you view your own worth. The angels, these magnificent, terrifying entities of absolute power, are actually in awe of you. Let that sink in for a moment. The holy warrior assigned to your birth date, a being who has witnessed the spectacular creation of galaxies and the violent fall of ancient empires, looks at your fragile, broken, seemingly ordinary life with absolute fascination. The Apostle Peter pulls back the curtain on this profound cosmic mystery in 1 Peter 12, revealing that the grace and salvation given to humanity are things into which angels long to look. The original Greek word used there is parakipto. It means to stoop down, to crane the neck, to peer passionately into a room you are never allowed to enter. When your guardian angel watches you stumble, when they see you fail and then fall to your knees in desperate repentance. They do not feel human contempt or disappointment. They experience a profound, staggering sense of wonder. You see, when a third of the angelic host rebelled and fell from heaven, there was no wooden cross raised for them. There was no second chance, no shedding of divine blood, no grace ever extended. They were permanently sealed in their rebellion. But when you fall, when you make mistakes that make you feel utterly worthless, when you carry the heavy, suffocating shame of your past, the Creator of the universe extends a grace so scandalous, so entirely incomprehensible, that the angelic host can barely grasp it. Your assigned angel was deployed to your specific timeline, not just to protect your physical body, but to be a front-row witness to the ultimate masterpiece of your redemption. They are intimately watching the Creator take the most shattered, painful pieces of your history and weave them into a magnificent tapestry of divine purpose. Every single time you choose to forgive someone who deeply hurt you, every time you choose but fragile faith over the crippling anxiety, your angel rejoices. They are watching the eternal plan that was set in motion on your exact birth date come to vibrant life. You must stop believing the lie that you are a disappointment to heaven. You are a living, breathing miracle of grace that leaves the most powerful beings in the cosmos entirely astounded. So, what does your guardian angel desperately want you to realize at this very moment? They want you to finally stop living as if your existence is some kind of cosmic accident. They want you to look at the date printed on your birth certificate, not as a random day in history, but as the exact divine coordinate when heaven breached the earthly realm to deploy a holy warrior for your soul. You have never been unprotected, not for a single fraction of a second, even in your darkest, most isolated nights, when the physical pain or emotional heartbreak was so loud that it completely drowned out the voice of God. Your assigned angel was standing right there, holding the line. They gathered your silent tears. They fought back the unseen forces that were desperately trying to convince you that your life was worthless and your future was over. If the Creator of the universe deemed your specific life so unimaginably valuable that he assigned an ancient, terrifyingly powerful entity to guard your steps, how can you continue to look in the mirror and see a failure? How can you allow the modern world or the enemy to convince you that your best days are permanently behind you? Just because your physical body is aging, your angel is not mourning your past. They are fiercely protecting your future. They are waiting for you to stand up, brush off the ashes of your past mistakes, and step boldly into the sacred mission you were born to fulfill. You are not a burden. You are a highly guarded, deeply loved masterpiece of heaven. Tonight, when you turn off the lights and the house goes completely quiet, do not let the familiar shadows of anxiety creep back into your mind. Remember the staggering truth about your birth date. Remember the invisible, blazing fire standing directly between you and the dark. If this message opened your spiritual eyes today, if you finally understand the divine reason why you survived everything you have been through, do not keep this profound revelation to yourself. There is someone in your life right now who feels completely forgotten by God, someone who believes they are fighting their battles entirely alone. Share this video with them. Send them this reminder of heaven's protection. I want to hear your story. Tell us in the comments below, have you ever experienced a moment of undeniable intervention from your guardian angel? Let your testimony be the proof someone else needs today. And if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button to join our community. We are just beginning to uncover the breathtaking mysteries heaven desperately wants you to know.